welcome to the finals edition of the Postgame show. And for the finals, we brought out some of the big dogs. We brought out some of the big dog interns. And we had one of the worst games we've seen in finals history. But before we get to that, I want to give an introduction to each and every one of you guys. Let's start with Chris himself. How we feeling, Chris? How we feeling?
I'm feeling fine. I mean, it was a win-win for me. Either Flint lost or TMC lost, so win-win. Joey, another loss in the finals. Matt Fink, your ass. Check rock. That's it.
Okay. Connor, how we feeling? How we feeling, Connor?
How do I follow that up? Chris Rudzinski's out here dropping RPGs, just sending off missiles. Yeah, listen, it wasn't a great finals in terms of how good those teams were and what we expected to see them, how they perform normally. But hey, it's another week getting to recap the Legacy League season with the boys, so I'm glad to be here and looking forward to breaking this all down.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Racine, you've been on a few post games. How was your first finals?
I mean, it was an alright game. It had some good moments. I think Reggie had a 3 for buzzer beater at the end of the quarter, and then Quan had a pretty crazy dunk. So there was some good moments, but not the best game. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, fair enough. And Jack, finish us off. What'd you see? How was it?
I was a little disappointed. I mean, neither of the teams really played to their potential, but we got some good highlights out of it at least. It wasn't that close, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good segue. We'll get right into it. I couldn't agree more. It was a high level.
Can we shout out Greg? Let's shout out Greg Horne. He's always shouting us out. I think we need to shout out Greg Horne. A little praise to Greg. He kind of takes the lead on this post-game show all year. The week without him was a little rough. Let's just say. I mean, it makes it a lot easier when he's here. Just shout out to Greg.
I appreciate that, Chris. It means a lot. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you. And, I think something we appreciate is high-level Legacy Leagues basketball. And we're about to get into some, or maybe not into some high-level basketball. I'll let you guys kind of take it away. But the Flint Tropics are your Legacy Leagues champions. They took down Run TMC 59-45 on the back of Matt Fink and the boys. I'll kind of let Chris go, and then, the rest of you guys will take it away. But shout out my boys Flint getting their second ring. Chris, how we feeling? 59-45. Flint kind of took it to them.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say shout out to Flint. Shout out to Quan Jackson, was phenomenal. Ricky Rogers, right? That's his name. Came in and played some big
Ricky
minutes.
Rogers
Probably
phenomenal.
Doesn't get any love on this show. I mean, Fink got a lot of rebounds. You could say what you want. I don't know. I want to go more into TMC. I think it was another choke job roster over there by the commish, but I don't want him to kick me off the show. But Reggie was awful in the first half. He gives Connor a lot of slack here, but I don't know why he keeps coming at Connor if he's going to show up to the finals game like that. I think he started 0 for 9 or 0 for 10. It was pretty bad. Pratt was awful in the first half. Eric showed up 30 minutes after the game tipped off. I don't know what they thought was going to happen when they showed up with Will. No disrespect to Will and Miles, but they showed up with Will and Miles, Pratt and Reggie to start the game. There's not much. What are you going to do there? Dave Armstrong played great. Probably the best. He probably could have won Finals MVP even though they lost. Not to take away. I know Greg was going to bring that up, but I was very disappointed in this, the depth of this TMC roster when Joey got three of the best names in Legacy League's history to join Reggie, and he didn't really add much to the roster. I feel like he could have went a lot better, and they should have had a lot more depth. I'm very disappointed. It was an awful game all around. What was it, 30-13 at half? I think I was sitting up watching it on my screen.
They had 13 points at half.
Asleep at home because I was texting Greg like, "What the fuck is going on?" The game started late. Everything seemed off right from the jump. That's really all I got.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. I'll kind of kick it to Connor. Connor kind of was echoing that to me during the game. He kept coming up to me and saying, "I don't know, the energy feels off." Connor. You agree with what Chris said, or where you want to take this?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's funny because the game started out, Flint wins the tip, and they didn't look like they had a lot of energy either to start the game. Kind of a half-assed pass across the court. Miles Raymond picks it right away in the passing lane, goes down, slams it. TMC's up 2-0. Next possession for Flint, they come down. Shaquan's kind of being a little bit careless with his ball handling at the high point. Gets his pocket picked by Reggie Stewart. They go down. I think they missed a shot, and Dave Armstrong got the rebound and slammed it. It was 4-0 run TMC in the first opening minute of the game. Fast forward to like a minute left at the end of the first quarter. I look up at the scoreboard. Run TMC has 5 points. They got 1 point for the rest of the quarter via Reggie Stewart free throw, which Reggie, even a couple of free throws for Reggie missed, which was kind of rare to see from him. But they really didn't play great in terms of how the Flint Tropics play. They took care of business, but usually if you want to beat Flint, the margin for error has to be like basically close to 0. This was a rare situation where Flint could have honestly choked this game away with the way they played tonight. It was definitely not the best version of themselves, but it was just like Run TMC just played worse. It was almost like who's gonna. Usually it's like who's gonna play the best. It was like no, who's not gonna play the worst was gonna win this game. Just a really sloppy game through and through. And it's one of those games where we talked about this in previous post games where situations in the past where Reggie had kind of got off to a cold start, Pratt would always be the one who gets those threes going and gets their energy back. And Langston shows up. Langston shows up a quarter late to the game. He showed up in the second. You thought that might be the flip the switch and get the energy going. Then Eric couldn't get anything to go. Eric was struggling finding a shot. He came up to me and said, "Dude, I don't know what's going on. I can't make a basket tonight." Eric showed up with not wearing his jersey for the first time all year, by the way. I thought that was hysterical. Eric Langston is known for not ever wearing his jersey. For once all season, actually, we got a jersey that was able to fit Eric, so he was wearing it every game. And, of course, he says, dude, I was late to the game. I couldn't find it in the laundry. So he shows up. He gives Flint 2 free throws just to get into the game. Nothing was going right for TMC. It was kind of a microcosm of how the night went for them. Dave Armstrong was phenomenal, and it was just unfortunate to see that his efforts kind of didn't really, amount to a win like they should have in a game like that, where he was just phenomenal on the defensive glass, the offensive glass, and in situations of this game where TMC was kind of down and out. He was getting those second chance points and getting some crazy dunks. He had one of his offensive putback dunks. He had like a one-hand reach around under the basket and just slammed it on the reverse end. I was like, damn, Dave is going crazy tonight, but. Yeah, kind of a disappointing game all in all. I don't want to take too much away from Racine and Jack to break down, so I'll throw it over to them. But, I'm really happy for the Flint Tropics. They're a good team, a veteran team in this league, and it's unfortunate for TMC, a bunch of vets on that side as well, that you would love to see have some success. I know Reggie was pissed at me, didn't say a word to me. So I'm going to try to get back in Reggie's good graces on All-Star Weekend. But all in all, great shout out to the Flint Tropics. Hell of a season. Matt Fink, MVP, just took care of business, and they got another ring added to their resume, so shout out to them.
Shout out to them. Racine, hit me. What do we think?
Yeah, to me, the biggest thing that stood out, I mean, both teams didn't shoot from 3 at all. And I'm looking at the stats here. Flint shot 21% from 3, and TMC shot 24% from 3. So, really, I think this is one of the rare games where Flint didn't shoot well, and TMC really could have taken advantage of that by attacking the basket, but unfortunately they didn't. And I think that's where, as simple as it is, I think Flint just attacked the basket more, and that's why they got the win. But then, just going on TMC a little bit, I saw Reggie. I was washing my hands in the bathroom. He gives me this little smirk, and then even right before tip-off, he gives me another one. I'm thinking he's about to have like a generational game, but it's just unfortunate that he didn't really play well, and his teammates around him didn't play well too much. So, but yeah, credit goes to Flint. They played a complete game. All three got the whole team showed up. So congrats to them, and they showed why they're the best team all season long.
Yeah, no, I mean, shout out my Flint boys. Jack, finish us off. Your first Legacy Leagues finals, Flint.
I mean, Run TMC started off so bad that I think some of the Reggie slander is warranted, but he was the only one who picked it up in the second half. They're not going to come back unless everyone's firing on all cylinders, especially after 2 single-digit quarters. But I think Langston, Hudson, and Raymond, they were like a combined 0 for 12 from 3. A team like that needs their 3-pointers, even if they're on the offensive boards like Armstrong was. And Flint didn't even have their two prolific scorers having their best games, but they hit their free throws. I think that's a testament to just how good they are, that they could still win by a lot without their players playing to their offensive abilities.
Yeah, no, and I just want to give a shout out to a lot of unsung heroes in this game. Shout out Pat Drury. Pat Drury plays such a funny game because everyone lets him shoot, but when he just drives at whoever's letting him shoot and just he is like sneaky athletic and he just fits the Flint mold and he reminds me of a guy who used to play on Team Moose, Brad. He just kind of plays athletic and he's tall. And I mean, I got to shout out my Flint boys, man. They did what they said they were going to do. They played some phenomenal basketball. This wasn't the best game from them, but you only play who's in front of you, and they took care of everyone every single week. So shout out to Matt Fink and an MVP. Shout out to Bizzuto getting his second ring. It's a big ring for him, but, big for his legacy. No pun intended. But I guess my next question is I'm going to go Chris, same order. Chris, and then the boys. What do you guys think about this? Like, what's next for both of these teams? For Flint. Flint could have two rings if Matt Fink doesn't get the flu, and then maybe they're going for their third. And for Run TMC, where does Run TMC go from here? It's another shortcoming. Of course they got their win, and they got some well-respected players, some Legacy League, icons. But where does both teams go from here?
I mean, you want my honest opinion? They should both quit. They should retire. They should call this. Let the young teams come in. I know they're not going to do it, but I just think it's a new era, legacy. Obviously they could. Flint can win the next 10 championships in a row with this league, and I think they would have wanted to run it up more back pre-COVID legacy. I think they would have, if they won a few rings in a row, it would have meant more to them. I think TMC's got to overhaul their roster if they're going to come back. Obviously, I think they'll both be in the league next season. I think Reggie will be running TMC into the ground like he did this year. No, I'm joking. Look at Connor's face. Hey, maybe the commission needs to play. Maybe that's the key. Maybe Joey needs to come out and hit a couple threes. Could be onto something. But no, I think, obviously, if Flint comes back and goes back to back, they'll join the list of teams that went back to back, like the Brotherhood, the Monstars, Shocker City. I think that's the three teams that went back to back. I think the Chasers win one and Flint won. Everybody else kind of won one.
Yep.
I guess in a Flint sense, I could see them going for a three-peat if they do win next season because nobody else had done it, and that just seems to be what Flint likes to try to do. I don't know. I think Get Money won't really ever get their subs together. Snipes is a little young. They played well, but these guys, they're just grown men at this point. Flint and TMC, obviously that'll probably be the finals again as long as they keep playing. I'm not sure, man. I don't know where they go from here. I think they'll keep playing, but I think they should retire and give these other teams a chance.
All right, Chris, retire. It's a hot take, Connor. Where do you think these two teams go from here next year?
Listen, what are we gonna say? You want all the stars of all the best sports to retire? I don't agree with that take. I think the league is more fun, entertaining when the veterans are here. I hate when I hear the veterans say, "Oh, I'm done." When Langston was saying 4 or 5 seasons ago, this was his last season, and then every season after he just keeps showing up. I'm like, thank God, because I love when the vets show up. I love seeing that mix of the young teams trying to compete against the older guys and seeing that dynamic and. Sometimes it's the experience versus the guys that these young kids just come in with so much energy and ability and it, I just love that chess game, So I hope the vets stick around. I love watching Reggie show up every week and just do it, night in, night out with his shot making ability. Pratt is, the guy is just, he's walking comedy every single night he walks into Legacy. Same with Langston. And on top of that, they have great ability as well and great shooters. And I hope they stick around. I heard a lot of, kind of rumors through the grapevine about some potential additions to these rosters that could be happening. So, I'm excited for that. I heard some potential names might be coming out of retirement to don the blue and yellow for Run TMC. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not going to get into it. We'll save that for like maybe potentially next season, Greg. We always kind of do that preview for a season, so we'll wait for that show to drop all the heavy hitting news. But listen, like Chris kind of said, maybe he thinks they should retire, but Chris also alluded to the fact that if they don't and they come back around, these teams are going to be two of the best teams in the league, and likely might be seeing each other in another finals rematch. Which, hey, like we get that trilogy, right? TMC took them down last season, Flint gets them this year. That trilogy match is set up. If, just like Dana White loves to do in the UFC, there's nothing better than a good trilogy, a good rubber match. So I hope they come back, and we can get that, because I love all the players on both these teams. It was fun seeing Reggie and Pratt team up this year. That was also really cool, because they're always going head to head. But I think TMC's got a bright future, as long as Joey can kind of mix and match this roster and maybe bring in another guy. Out of retirement potentially. We'll see what happens with that. And if you're the Flint Tropics, I think you come back with the same team. I think this team hasn't lost a regular season game when they were fully healthy, with Fink, Shaquan, Mike out there, the big three that they're calling them. And shout out Pat Drury, right? I think somebody called him Domantas Sabonis on finals night. I don't know if that was Racine or somebody, but there was definitely a Domantas Sabonis comparison that got thrown around on finals night, and I loved it. I was like, that is exactly who this guy is. He just does everything out there. He doesn't move at a high speed, but just has such solid fundamentals everywhere on the court. Just a great fourth piece to have as your big man down low on the Flint Tropics. A great roster, perfectly constructed for success in this league, and I don't think they need to do much. They just got to come back and keep on.
Come back and keep balling. All right, Racine and Jack, since, for you guys, you won't be here next year, I'm going to just easy as this. If you had to pick Flint or TMC next year to win it all, right now you're picking. I'm putting you on the hot seat. Who are you picking?
It's Flint. It went undefeated. There's nothing from this season where I'm going to say where I can see them losing. But it's just for TMC, it's just consistency. Like, you're not going to win if you don't have guys showing up on time, or you're starting off the game with just 4 and no subs. So that's just for me for TMC, because when they had their whole team, like, they were one of the best teams in this league, like we saw. So I would go with Flint.
Jack, you agree?
I mean, what does Flint even have to change? If they can have an off game shooting wise and still win the finals by that much, I don't think there's anything they really have to change. TMC needs more depth. I just want to say before we go to the All-Star game, thank God Snipe Squad didn't win.
And with that, we will get to the All-Star game, because speaking of Tim Case, we got him in a few of these categories. Thanks for a great season, all of you, though. First, just want to say shout out to every single team in this league. It was a great season. Shout out to all our squads. We're going to move on to the All-Star game. And with that being said, we're going to get into – what should we get into first, boys? What are we feeling? A little – you know what? I got a good transition. So we're going to get into the contest where – never mind. I don't know if I should get into – you know what? We're going to get into the slam dunk contest, boys. And the funny thing about the slam dunk contest is every dunk's already been done. So we're going to see what we got. And in this year's contest, we got some notables. We got Kyle Davis, Jacob Morales, Christian Dessou, Eric Moore, D. Reed, and Jaquan Bromell. And for the interns who don't know Jaquan, this guy can throw it down. He's a defending champ, and he's phenomenal. I'm so glad he's participating. But I'm going to go same order as we did. Chris, I'm kicking it to you. Chris, make your pick here. Who you got? I know who Chris is picking.
I mean, out of these guys, I wish Quan was going. Honestly, I wish that would be a nice one to see in the dunk contest. But I'm gonna go with somebody that I think has won before. I'm gonna go with Jacob Morales. I think he'll come out, and then his little brother will come up with something.
Good pick.
And he'll do a nice dunk. I mean, it's easy to go with Jaquan as the favorite because he won last time and he's so big. But I'd like to see somebody like Jacob Morales win, who his team didn't achieve as well. See Lord's Army take away some hardware.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick. We love Jacob Morales on this team. Shout out Jacob Morales, man. He plays his heart out every single night. I just want to give him his flowers this season. He always comes in, plays hard, gives us everything he's got. He's always trying to put someone on a poster. And as someone who's getting HD half the night, I know Connor can attest this too, and Jack and Racine who've done it. you appreciate a guy who just constantly is going for just posters. It's just it makes your job so much easier because he's gonna get them a few times. Connor, you're great at picking. Who you got?
Wait, did you say Jaquan Bromell is coming back?
Yeah, he's coming
I
back.
love that. Jaquan didn't play this season, so I know Racine and Jack and maybe some of the interns or maybe some of the new viewers might not be familiar with his game. This kid is definitely just barely within the height limit of Legacy League's allowance. His arms and his legs are, he basically drags his hands around. He's got the craziest wingspan I've seen in this league. He's just an absurd athlete. He's a track star. He's a football wide receiver in college. So he's basically just like cut out to be a champion at this tournament for the dunks every season, and that's why he won it last year. Hard for me to pick against him. He actually showed up to a few weeks during the regular season this year and kind of was hanging out and just chopping it up with the boys while watching. He said that nobody wanted him on his team. I guess he was recovering from an injury, and some of the GMs he was in communication with in the offseason were worried that he'd be ready in time, so he didn't get picked up this season, but he said he's coming back next year. And I love how he's coming back to do the dunk contest and defend his belt. I'm going to rock with Jaquan, man. I think that's awesome. I love how he's the fact he's coming back tells me he's motivated, right? He's definitely wants to put on a show and defend his belt and just kind of remind people of who he is and what he's capable of. So I'm going to rock with Jaquan to go back-to-back in this tournament.
All right. Now, this is big. The intern picks are big because you guys only get one shot at this. Like, if I get it wrong, it doesn't matter. I'll be back next year. But Racine, who you got in this? There's a lot of heavy hitters. Who you got?
I'm gonna go Kyle Davis. Yeah, I've seen this dude just casually hit a windmill mid
Good
game,
pick.
and like you mentioned, I think he's another one of the guys in this league that attacks the rim and wants to put guys on a poster. So I'm gonna go with Kyle Davis for this one.
Highlight machine. That's KD. Jack, how we feeling?
I mean, I don't know Jaquan. I've only heard good things about him, but I can't pick him because I haven't seen him. So I'm going to go with Jacob Morales. I've never seen someone attempt as many in-game dunks as he does, so I feel like he's going to get it.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick. He's a former champion, too. Jacob Morales is a slam dunk champion. I'm going D. Reed. Shout out my guy, D. Reed. D. Reed's a sleeper. People don't know him. Put your daughter's trust fund on D. Reed right now. I'm telling you. Just throw it all. Steal your wife's ring, sell it, put it on D. Reed. D. Reed's going to come out hot. He's going to come out firing. He can jump. This kid can jump. There's a sick HD clip. It was for the top plays of the year. You'll see it where it's like a putback dunk, and he can fly. So I'm going my boy D. Shout out D. Reed. And now we're going to get to the three-point contest. I know we got some big heavy hitters in the three-point contest game. We got Mike Bizzuto, Christian Dessou, Dante Hodge, Josh Browdy, Jason Hernandez, Reggie Stewart, Trayvon Jones, and we got Matt Fink. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, we got some crazy heavy hitters here. No one leaked the walk-up songs. No one leaked their songs. Don't do it to them. I know it's in the screenshot, but Chris, I'm going to start with you. There's a lot of choices in this one. Who you going?
It's a tough one, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of guys on here that could win if they get hot. I can't go with anybody from Flint, so it's not in my vocabulary. I think I'm. You know what? I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna pick my boy. I'm gonna pick Jason Hernandez because that's who I want to win. I want him to get a 3-point contest. I think he's gonna come in hot. And he's going to hit a bunch of threes. That's my pick. That's who I want to win.
That's a good pick. That's a great pick. Jason Hernandez is one of those guys that, like, for the interns' sake, he came in this league when me and Connor were literally interns. It was a long time ago, and he's been doing his thing in this league for a while. He's probably approaching, like, almost 1,000 points. I mean, he's probably around like the 600 mark or something. He's played in a lot of seasons, and he's great shooter, efficient scorer. He has a lot of fun out there, and he gets everyone involved. So I love the J pick. Connor, who you got?
Greg, can you run me the names real quick one more time? I just don't want to make sure I forgot anybody.
Problem. It's a big group. So we got Bizzuto.
Yep.
Christian Dessou. Dante Hodge.
Stop the list. Christian Dessou, Cash Money. That's my man. Absolute lights out. I don't even need to know the rest of the names. I saw him perform last year in this event. Did he win it last year, Greg? Who won it last season? I don't want to put you
I'm
on the
not
spot.
sure.
If
I'm
he
not sure.
didn't
I'm
win
not
it,
sure.
Greg, I know for a fact he was in like the final round,
He
and
was. He was. He was balling. He was balling
yeah,
that
no,
one.
he had like a crazy round that like I don't think it might not have been his final round, so I don't know if he won it, but I know like in one of his first two rotations through the arch, he had a crazy round. He had like 20 something threes, so yeah, I'm rocking with Christian, man. Just an absolute lights out shooter. He shows up before the
Fink won
games.
last year.
Who
Or
won?
the winter. Fink won.
Fink won the 3-point contest. Damn, that's crazy. And Fink was just saying how he can't shoot on these. And he actually did kind of have a bad shooting season from behind the arc.
Yeah.
But that's funny because he's a 3-point champion in this league, and if that's his biggest weakness, you got problems trying to guard him. But yeah, no, Christian shows up like hours before everybody else, like every night, even for regular season games. He's just always there shooting. So he's gonna get a lot of reps. He's gonna come in ready, and I'm rocking with Christian. I always have, and that's my man. So I'm picking him to win this.
All right, Racine.
Sorry to do this to you, Chris, but I'm gonna have to pick Mike Bizzuto from the Flint Tropics. Yeah, this guy has, I mean, single-handedly taken over games from 3-point range. So you give him an opportunity to shooting uncontested shots. Like I remember, I think the playoff game against Lord's Army, their whole game plan was that he don't give Mike any room to shoot a three. So you give this guy a chance to shoot three-point shots uncontested. I think he's gonna be lights out. I'm gonna take Mike to win it.
Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. Jack, finish us off here. Who you got? Well, I guess I'll finish it off, but who you got?
I gotta go Christian Jasu because once he gets
Oh,
going from there, he's automatic. He's awesome from 3-point range. I voted for him to be in here, and I hope he wins it.
yeah, no, I agree. He was an all-star snub. I think it was last season, so I'm so glad he's in this. I'm going Reggie Stewart. Reggie's burned me. I mean, I've burned Reggie. I haven't picked him a lot of times, but I think this is a contest where Reggie's going to come out firing, especially with the finals loss. He had a really bad, really rough game, but what he did do is he bounced back crazy in that second half. He was hitting some crazy shots, and when me and Connor were watching him warming up, he was not missing a shot, and I think he's going to carry that right over into the 3-point contest, and he's just going to come out firing and just do his thing. So I got Reg in that one. And you can never go wrong picking Reg. He's just one
So,
of the best
so
scorers we've ever seen.
Greg, I got something for you. So you're
Yeah.
picking Reg because he lost the finals. So how come Reg doesn't have four of these?
Well, I meant more. He, was trying to, avenge the finals loss, and he was playing great in that third and fourth quarter, like Racine said, hit the, buzzer beater. That was great. I just think Reg is going to kind of carry that momentum in the 3-point contest and do his thing. It's like
No,
Joey
I
Chestnut every year.
I like it, man. I mean, with with the names in this contest, you really can't go wrong with anybody. I don't think.
I agree.
I think any
yeah,
of
we got
these
good
guys
ones.
in this contest could win this thing.
Shout out Trayvon Jones. Trayvon Jones could absolutely win. Josh Browdy can get crazy hot. And Dante Hodge is someone who we didn't talk about. And again, the defending champ, Matt Fink, as well. Not big. I mean, this is a crazy stat group, and I hope we see someone go 30 for 30, but that's not going to happen. But I would love it. I mean, if no one's got anything else, we're going to get to the big money category here, and that's the All-Star game, boys. We got some coaches coming in this year. It was a fun draft for those who saw it, and if you guys can see my screen, we got the teams. If you guys can see this, yeah, you can. Beautiful. Yeah, so these are the teams. We got the East and the West. On the East, we got Tim Case, Reggie Stewart, Matt Fink, Shaquan Jackson, Josh Browdy, David Armstrong, Dante Hodge, Eric Moore, and they'll be coached by CJ Lombardi of Snipe Squad. He got a pretty good team over there. I mean, again, this is the All-Star game, so these are, some of the best players we've got, 16 of the best. And then on the West side, we got Kyle Davis, Jacob Morales, Mike Bizzuto, Angelo, D'Amato, Jason Hernandez, Trevon Jones, Christian Jesu, and Benji Valentine. And Julio Morales is going to be leading them with the clipboard. He's from Lord's Army. So we got a little fun. We got, some real coaches going on. And this is going to be a good game. We got the Flint boys split up. It's cool to see three All-Stars from one team. We've seen that in the past from like a Yaga, Shocker City, Amon Stars, Chasers. But, three All-Stars, it is rare to get three All-Stars from one team. So shout out to Flint. It just shows what a great season those three players had. But I'm going to kick it to Chris, and then we'll go same order as always. Chris, who you think wins this game? I want to know. You can do score if you want, MVP as well.
I just think every time we do one of these things and we look at the rosters, like, oh, I think this team is a lock, like how the East looks like it should be a lock. I feel like the West is going to end up winning this somehow. I think somebody's not going to show up for the East. I just like it's so easy. You know what I mean? By looking at these two teams, it's so easy to pick the East just because. But I don't know. I see Kyle Davis and Mike Bizzuto kind of taking this underdog role in this game and coming out and trying to run them into the ground. Like because I feel like everybody's going to pick the East, so I think I'm going to go with the West, and I think Kyle Davis is going to get MVP.
Hey,
I
West
think
Side,
it'll be
Best
like
Side.
it'll be like 150 to 149, something ridiculous like that because nobody plays defense in these games until like the final couple minutes. Is it still like the
It's the Elo
Elam
scoring, yeah.
ending?
Yeah. Elon Musk ending, whatever it is.
Elon, whatever the hell, I don't know how, whatever. So maybe not 150 to 140, maybe like 130, 128, more in that range.
Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it. I like it, Chris.
Kyle Davis is gonna have 55.
Yeah, I mean that's Katie's going. Katie could go crazy in this one. Connor, hit me with it. Expert analysis over here.
So we already made our picks, Greg, on the All Star Draft night.
True. I guess we
So
did. Yeah.
I'm not going to switch up, right? Obviously, so I already picked the East, but just in terms of my analysis, I thought Dave Armstrong was the key to this game, and Chris knows the famous story of me picking Miles Raymond over Dave Armstrong. As much as I love Miles, great player, um, I needed a big man in that draft, and wasn't paying attention to my picks. Greg was obviously seeing what I had going on with like five guards, and he picked Dave right after I picked Miles, and Dave came in and just destroyed me on the glass. So that was the reason why I picked the East, because in a game like this where everyone's kind of like just shooting it and having fun, Dave is just going to come in pissed as hell, as he always does, and just get tons of rebounds and put back dunks, and everyone's gonna be like, why is this guy trying so hard, right? And by the time you realize how hard Dave's going, his team might already have a 15-point lead on you. So that's kind of the reason why I picked the East. But I do like where Chris is going with it, kind of hedging his bets with the West. But I will say, if I were to pick the West, I would honestly pick either Mike or Angelo as the MVPs, on potential MVP candidates on that team, just because Tim and Angelo being on different teams, I mean, these guys argue when they're competing on the same side, you know? Never mind going against each other, there's going to be some added animosity, some added motivation going on between those two guys. It's going to be a game within the game. And also, Mike, I think Mike is going to have a little bit of friendly banter going on with his co-champions over there on the other side, and he might want to be the one that shows out. But I think Angelo's a sneaky MVP pick. If you are siding with the West, I think he's going to try to really take down Tim in this one. And also, he's got his coach on the other end, Coach CJ. So maybe, if I'm Angelo, I'm pissed that my coach didn't even pick me for his own All-Star team. I'm going to show up ready to play. And some other really good candidates as well, obviously. Benji Valentine's a sleeper in this game. I think the guys that typically get drafted towards the end of these come in a little bit, motivated as well. So he might be a good candidate for the West to be an MVP. But I just really like the East roster. I mean, there's really not much to say. They got two champs in Matt and Shaquan. They got Dave and Reggie. This team's got champions all the way through and through. And then, Dante Hodge, the three-point champion. Tim Case was, just here in the semis. Eric Moore had a really good season for the Syndicate as well. So I'm rocking with the East.
Yeah, can't go wrong with the East. All right, Racine, who we got?
Yeah, I took Coach Julio's team on the All-Star draft night, and I'm gonna stick with them. I think, like I said, we got shooters on the whole team, and I think that's how they're gonna win the game. It's gonna be shooting lights out the entire game. You got Kyle Davis, Mike Rizzuto, Trayvon Jones, Christian Dizu, Benji Valentine. I mean, the list goes on. And for my MVP, I think I stuck with Kyle Davis as well. The guy's an elite scorer, driving, mid-range, and three. So when you got a guy like that who can score all three levels, he's going to take over a game like this. So I'm going to go Kyle Davis with the MVP and Coach Julio and his team taking the win.
I like it. I like it, Jack. Who we think?
I agree with Racine. They got shooters up and down the roster on the West, and kind of what Connor said, but they got a lot of guys on the West who weren't in the finals and didn't make it deep in the playoffs. So I think those kind of guys are going to want to show out for one last time for the season. So I'm going to go West. I'm going to go Mike Bizzuto as the MVP.
I like that. Also, Trayvon Jones. Shout out Trayvon Jones. He's someone who could dominate this game. Draymond Jones is going to be hard to stop, and especially in an All-Star game, you're not going to be really going crazy with the defense. He can kind of get what he wants anyways. But I want to give a shout out to Dave Armstrong. I did pick the East, and I'm going to stick with that. Dave Armstrong is just the best rebounder, plain and simple, I think, in Legacy League's history. He just, what he does out there, the effort he gives, it is so underrated what he brings to a team. And I know Chris can attest to this. He was on teams with Chris. Dave does all the little things you need, but he can impact a game in so many ways where a lot of times you think of a big guy that gets a lot of rebounds. He's just, one dimensional. Dave does so much out there. He can guard you on ball. He's constantly looking for putback dunks. He really brings energy. He's never not trying. You'll never see he's doing his thing out there. And I just really appreciate that. And if you saw it in the finals, and I thought you were going to see it in this All-Star game. So I'm going Dave Armstrong MVP, and I'm going the East. Shout out CJ Lombardi. Shout out the East. But I think this is going to be a good game. There's a lot of heavy hitters in this one. I don't think you can really go wrong with any of this. I mean, Jason Hernandez I can see showing out. I mean, Josh Browdy. Josh Browdy didn't win a game all year. And same with Eric Moore. But they are on the same team in this one. The boys are going to be trying to getting them a win. So, I'm going with the East. But, boys, I mean, it's a hell of a post-game show. Anyone got anything else? Chris, Connor, Jack, Racine? Anything, any hot take you want to fire off? This is the time.
I got you, man. I just want to say, I'm not going to go into details, but if the behind-the-scenes stuff that's been going on my phone is actually going to happen, good luck.
Okay, like the little mic drop. All right. I don't know if anything will ever top what Jack did earlier this episode. Connor, how we feeling? How we feeling about this season? Cap it off. How was it?
I loved it, man. I thought it was a great season. Definitely, I love this post-game show right here. This has been a post-game show for the ages between Chris and Jack, just absolutely showing up with the heavy artillery, ready to roll, just taking headshots only. But, man, it was a fun season. All in all, Flint Tropics, we had this matchup circle with Run TMC dating all the way back to last year, so it was really cool that we actually got that in the finals. Obviously, it was a little anticlimactic with how the game ended up turning out, but all in all, it's just another quality season in the books. We had everything, right? We had some good games, some overtime, some crazy overtime finishes, double overtime finishes. We had some fights, right? Everybody loves a little bit of fights. Not too many fights, but just a little bit, just to add some
baseball fights.
Yeah, some baseball fights, right? Some let me at 'em type stuff. But listen, all in all, it was a good season. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to all of our players that showed up on a week in, week out basis and gave everything they had on the court for us. And the players are what make this league so great, right? Shout out to our interns and everybody that shows up and runs all the production side of things. But at the end of the day, we don't have a league without players, and the amount of talented guys that show up to this league is what makes it so fun. And without those talented players, they attract other talented players, right? They're the ones that put those great clips out for us on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and all that to attract that looks fun, right? This guy's no slouch, and he's out here balling on 8.5-foot rims. That actually does look like a fun league. And then, that's how this league grows. That's how we have success. So shout out to everybody, man. It was a great season, and I'm just glad that we were able to be a part of it once again, Greg.
Yeah, no, amen to that, man. It was a great season. Appreciate, obviously, everyone. And, hey, we'll be back again. We'll be back for a banger of a season. We'll have we always have some new teams and new faces. And you never know. I mean, look at Get Money. I said it the other day. They're a buzzer beater and, a finals game, a few swings going their way from having 2 rings. So you never know what could happen if you join the Legacy League. So, that's a pretty good plug, Joey. Me and Connor could use a raise. But for me, it's Greg Horne, Connor Sauer, Chris Rudzinski, Racine, and Jack. Love you, Joey. Love you, Legacy Leagues. Shout out to Flint Tropics. We ride again next year.